Hello, 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 hello. Hello, hello, and testing. Hello. Ah. Hello, hello, and testing. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, 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 hello. Okay. Hello, everyone, and welcome to monthly update, August 2023. It's been quite an eventful month. I've actually done some writing, and it's very rare that I do any writing. I don't write often. But I've been watching a lot of. Well, I'll talk about that in a second. It'll be very soon that I talk about it, but I will talk about it in a bit. Hello everyone. Hope you're all good. Hope you're all enjoying everything. What have I been doing this month? I'll tell you. First thing I did was TV Talk, episode 1. Now I've done a few film talks. But this one I did slightly differently. Obviously, it's TV Talk, so I was talking about South Park in it as opposed to a film. So it's TV Talk instead of film talk. I was always intending to also do TV and stuff, and I might even do music at some point. But what I did with this one, rather than the other ones where I just sat the camera down, like I knew roughly what I was going to be talking about, but I just set the camera down and improvised. Those videos really aren't very good because of that. So what I did with this one is because I always rant to myself, like when I'm laying in bed at night, trying to get to sleep, and when I'm in the shower, all the time I'm talking out loud to myself. It's very embarrassing when someone walks past my room and hears me and like, who are you talking to? It's very embarrassing, but that's just what I do. I talk to myself and I rant about stuff. And so basically what I did is I pretended that I was making the video to myself and I was talking out loud. And basically I just wrote bullet points of what I was going to be talking about. And I basically just did it over and over again until I had like 12 or 13 bullet points. And then divided those into sections that had, were talking about kind of the same thing. And so it's a lot more streamlined of a video than the other ones are. I might go back and redo the other ones as in that way, and try to make them a bit smoother, because it's certainly the end product of this video is certainly much better than the other ones. So if I do any more film and TV talks from now on, that's probably how I'm going to do them, because it just makes it much better. So that's that. And that was done right at the beginning of the month. And then the only other thing I've done is right here at the end of the month. I've completed the first 2 chapters of a story. It's called The Ocean Sky. It's a South Park fanfiction because they're the only ones I write, because they're the only ones I read. I don't know why. I just feel like because South Park is a very. I was actually talking about South Park in that thing as well. So that's a coincidence. Not really. But and actually mention South Park fanfictions in that very thing, so they do kind of tie together. I think it's because when the fanfictions are about real people, it's always really weird to me because it's like you're writing about real people, but you're using them as like a character. I don't like that. And when it's like a lot of other TV shows, they don't seem really mature, so talking about mature things in them feels weird, like if it's a kids' TV show. But South Park is the kind of in-between thing because it's animated, so you don't have that real people awkwardness, but also it's for adults, so they do actually talk about serious stuff in the show. So it seems to me South Park is the only thing that actually the tone of the actual show matches the tone of most of the fanfictions that are in about it. But anyway, me and my mum recently have been watching a lot of Doctor Who, classic Doctor Who. We've been going through it in order. And actually, just today, we're about to finish the last 3 episodes of the War Games, which will finish the 60s. So we're just about to finish the 60s. And it reminded me, I love that kind of format. I love having, like their episodic things, like 20 minutes of episode. And I love having the cliffhanger at the end. It's something that I've felt has always been missing from modern Doctor Who, is the cliffhanger. It's such a big part of what Doctor Who is the cliffhanger at the end of every episode. And so that is what I was basically inspired by that, and I thought, wouldn't it be great if we put my favourite South Park characters, i.e. Tweak and Craig and Clyde, because Clyde is kind of part of their group. And then basically the plot of this is, it starts after the actual story, like the writing starts after the story starts. Basically the start is, at some point the Doctor goes to South Park and they steal the TARDIS. That's basically what it is. The story starts with them having already stolen it, and they basically land on this ship, and they help the crew, and it's... I can't really explain it to you without just telling you the story. It's not very... I've only written 2,000 words, and that's already a third of it done. So, if it's going to be a 6-parter, because I've done the first 2 episodes. So, if you want to have a read of that, the link is in the description. Because YouTube, this is something quite annoying that YouTube has done. Out of nowhere, YouTube has just decided to like downgrade my channel, and so it's gotten rid of a load of the features, so I can no longer put links to external sites in the description. So that's really annoying. I don't know why they've done that, but they have. So if you look in the description, you'll notice the only links that are actually highlighted are the YouTube links, and all the other ones you're going to actually have to copy and paste them. So I'm sorry about that. I don't know why they do that, because that doesn't actually make anything... That isn't punishing me, that's punishing the people who watch my videos. So that literally, I don't understand why they do that. But then again, it's YouTube. YouTube are run by retarded people, so they don't know what they're doing. And I talked to the YouTube, what are they called? Team YouTube on Twitter. And they said, oh, well, you must have... Essentially what they said is, oh, well, you must have done something wrong there. And that's essentially what they said. Without being able to give me an example of what I'd done wrong, they just decided to do that, which is really annoying. It doesn't seem to have interfered with any other aspect of my channel. The only thing it seems to have changed is now the links in the description don't work. Which is still really annoying, and it makes things difficult for you guys, but I don't think it's changed what I can actually do, really, on like the uploads and live streams and stuff like that, so that's lucky. And I'm glad about that, but this seems like such a pointless alteration to make. And all it does is make things difficult for the people watching my videos, and it doesn't actually change things for me at all, so that's really annoying, so I'm sorry about that. I mean, I'm not sorry, YouTube did it for no reason, and I contacted them and asked them why they did it, and they did... Well, actually, I can find this, because it was on Twitter, so I'll read out exactly what it was that they said. What did they say to me? I'll just open up X, as it's now known, because Elon Musk is also an idiot, apparently. So I contacted them. The email said, to keep our community safe, we limit some of the more powerful features to channels that have either built and maintained a positive channel history, or that have provided verification. We've noticed that some of your recent activity might not follow our rules. Your channel has lost access to advanced features. Okay. That doesn't explain what I did. It said, we've noted that some of your recent activity might not follow our rules, so we're going to screw things up for your viewers. Thank you. So I asked them, and then I posted the screenshot of the email on Twitter. And then Team YouTube on Twitter responded, YouTube Studio has many tools and features to help you make the most of your content. This is just like automatic robot reply. Based on the screenshot, it looks like your channel lost access to advanced features, and this happens if you're not following our policies. Yes? Well, thank you. And then they put a link, and it tells you what you can do. How to restore access. Build positive channel history by following our community guidelines. I do follow the community guidelines. So, lie. So that's very annoying. But whatever, it is YouTube. You can't tell YouTube what to do, because YouTube themselves don't know what they're doing. I'm sorry about this spot. I can see that. I'm sorry about that. It looks horrific. Looks like I've been shot in the face and Nom's gaping hole. It is just a spot. I can squeeze it on the camera if you like. No. So that's what I've done. That story that I've started writing is probably the best thing. I've written a couple of other things on Archive of Our Own, but they're more comedic and then really short, and the chapters will only have like 400 words. So it's really not... They're not that good. This is the first thing I've written that I'm very happy with at the moment. So if you're gonna go and you can go and read that, that will be very nice. So moving on to things that I've watched this month. I've watched a few things. 5 films and 1 season of a television show, which is again relating to the 2 things I've done. First, I watched Turkey Shoot, which is a 1982 Australian dystopian science fiction concentration camp kind of film. It's very good. It has a couple of actors in it. I know it has Steve Railsback, who was in an episode of The X-Files. And it has, what's her name, Olivia Hussey, whatever the hell her name is, who was in It, the 1990 It. I enjoyed it. It was very good. The dubbing wasn't very good at parts, but that's the flaw, really. So yeah, it was very good. I enjoyed it. Then I watched The Running Man from 1987, which is essentially a big budget version of Turkey Shoot. From what the plot changes a lot towards the end, but at the start it's the same thing. It's the prisoners in a camp, and then they're chased down by rich people. But for this, it's a television program. Whereas in Turkey Shoot, it's like this private thing where rich people go and hunt down prisoners. In The Running Man, it's a public thing, a television show that millions of people watch because they're forced to watch it. Has Arnold in it, Yaphet Kotto, the woman whose name I can't remember, but she was in Predator 2. Really good. Really good. And the main villain, I thought it was Brian Doyle Murray. But it's not. It just looks like him and sounds like him. But it's not him. Then I watched season 26 of South Park. Now, maybe I may have cheated a bit because I watched this after I did that video complaining about how South Park doesn't really do anything. But luckily, this season didn't prove anything I said in that video wrong. So that's lucky. This is the most recent season of South Park, season 26. I still haven't seen The Streaming Wars Part 2. Because I watched the first part and it was so disappointing, and then I saw the trailer and it was like Cartman's got plastic breasts and Randy's a Karen, and it's like I genuinely have better things to be doing than watch that, so I haven't watched that yet. I may well never. I probably will at some point, but I'm not going to go out of my way to watch it. But yeah, this season was quite good. It was better than I thought it was going to be. The episode about Prince Harry was just so boring, because like the point of this episode, it was like it was making fun about how nobody cares about Prince Harry, and yet they made an entire episode about him. So clearly they care a bit. Otherwise they wouldn't have. It's like I don't care about him, so I don't want to watch a whole bloody South Park episode about him. And it has more of Butters being his business-minded self, which I've always thought is really out of character. I don't really like Butters being a businessman. I prefer him being the cute little thing. But the rest of it was pretty good. I can't even remember any of the episodes. Let me just have a look at this. See what the actual episodes are. I might give a little mini review of each one. If I can find the bloody thing. No. Go away. So Cupid Ye, the Kanye reference is I don't care, but the actual plot of the episode itself was very funny. Worldwide Privacy Door, crap. I mean, not a crap episode, but just boring. Japanese toilets, boring. Deep Learning, that was pretty good. I enjoyed it, and the fact that it was actually partly written by whatever the hell it's called, ChatDB, DB, Bubble, Bibble, whatever. That was pretty cool. And I did enjoy it. The hot dog thing, we get to see more of Kenny without his hood on, which is always a nice little thing to see, and him and Cartman bonding a little bit, even though they kind of betray Butters again. But again, Butters being treated like crap, which is disappointing, but hey ho. And then Spring Break, again, kind of boring. I can't actually remember anything about it. Let me have a go away. Let me have a little look through these. So we have oh well, I guess I will then. So that's that. It was alright. It was certainly better than the little string of seasons just before the post-COVID special, something better than them. Season 20, especially season 20, Jesus Christ. Does anyone like season 20? Does anyone like it? It's so bad. And seasons 18 and 19 are pretty crap as well. Season 21 was good, but I may one day go through and do reviews of South Park, because it is a really interesting show. I'll probably do the same with Classic Doctor Who at some point as well, when I have the time, which is not now. Although at least Classic Doctor Who at least South Park is actually online here. Classic Doctor Who you can't find. I mean, I have DVDs of it, but how to get footage of them for the videos would be like I have to load them onto the laptop, and my laptop, it's really low quality. It doesn't look very good. So, whatever. Then I watched Day of the Triffids, 1962. I was fairly certain that I'd seen this film before. I think I might have watched it when I was very young, because I remembered parts of it, but I certainly didn't remember all of it. It's, for a film from 1962, it is very clearly a child of the 60s. Why can't I speak bloody English? For a film from 1962, it is very clearly a child of the 50s. It's got the 50s musical cues. It's got the 50s acting. It is such a 50s film, even though it did come out in the 60s. It does have Carol Ann Ford in it. She was very nearly the only reason I watched the film. It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. The fact that the version that I watched was really low quality, I couldn't find a high quality version of it, which surprised me, because I know it's a really famous film. So the fact that I couldn't find a high quality version of it was really disappointing, but you know. And it's not just like it's it's low quality digitally. It's clearly from a scan of a low quality film source. So it's like it's a low quality YouTube video of a low quality film source, because you can tell. But yeah, I still enjoyed it. Then I watched The Devil's Reign, 1975. This is a kind of occult Satanist horror film. It has William Shatner in it. It has what's his name? What's his name? Tom Skerritt. Jesus Christ. Who the only other thing I know him from is Alien. And I know it's weird because Alien, when it first came out, he was the most famous actor in it. And he was presumed to be the lead actor. That's why his name comes up first in the opening credits. And that was they wanted to trick the audience, because the people assumed that he'd be the most. So he was the most famous actor in that film when it first came out. And yet he was the only actor that when I first saw Alien, he was the only actor that I hadn't seen in anything else. I'd already seen every other actor in other things. So that was interesting. But now after watching The Devil's Reign, I've now seen every single actor in Alien in more than one film. And he was the only actor up until I watched The Devil's Reign that I hadn't seen in anything else. But now I have. It also has, apparently it had John Travolta in it. I didn't see him, I was looking out for him, but I couldn't find him. It also has Anton LaVey in it, the founder of the Church of Satan. I might read his book at some point, The Satanic Bible. Seems like there's some interesting ideas in it. I'm not going to become a Satanist, don't worry. Satanism, for me, is just as plausible as regular religion, and you know how I feel about that. So I'm not going to become a Satanist, but I would like to read it at some point, because he seemed like a really interesting guy. Then I watched The Shout from 1978. Also Alien actor John Hurt in it. It also has Tim Curry in it, but I think they only share like one shot in the whole film, because the film it's kind of, most of the film is a flashback with, like bookends of the present day. Tim Curry is in the bookends and John Hurt is in the actual flashback bit, and I think they share one shot in the whole film, and they don't actually talk to each other, which is what I was really looking forward to seeing interaction between those two actors, and there wasn't any in the whole film, so that's a shame. But it was a really good film, kind of psychological horror. The main actor, I can't remember what his name is, like Alan Bates, is that his name? Never seen him in anything, but he's really good. He's probably the best actor in this. Or at least he does the best acting in this film. I think John Hurt is the best actor in the film. Because John Hurt is one of the greatest actors of all time. But yeah, it's a really good film. I really enjoyed it. Out of everything I've watched, The Shout is definitely like 100 points above everything else. The best film thing I've watched this month. And definitely, if you can only afford to watch one thing out of everything I've listed here, The Shout is it. Really good soundtrack. Apparently a couple of guys from Genesis did the soundtrack. So that's really good as well. So yeah, that's that. Things I've listened to. I've only listened to one album this month. Alice Cooper, Pretty's For You from 1969, their first album as a band. Because Alice Cooper wasn't yet the guy yet. At this point, Alice Cooper was the band. Very psychedelic. Doesn't sound at all like what they would go on, the occasional song that I've heard from them and from his solo career. This is much more psychedelic. There are a couple of songs on it where it gets a bit heavier, but this is a very psychedelic album. It was really good though, I liked it. So that's that. Do I have anything else to say? That is the question. Plans for next month. Forgot to mention that. I suppose write more of the story. I'm probably going to write a bit more of it today. Because I'm really enjoying it. I don't write often. Because I need to be in a very, very specific mood to want to write. I suppose that's the same for everything else as well, but it's like I'm in those moods more often. But to write, I need to really want to write. And I usually don't, because I'm not very good at it. I hope you guys have enjoyed this. I hope you guys have had a good August, and I hope you have a good, whatever the bloody hell the next one is. A good September. We're nearly done with the year, can you believe that? September, October, November, December. 4 months. 4 months to go. Blooming heck. Well, I hope you guys have enjoyed. If you have, please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next thing that I do, which will be... Bye.